Yo, man, this song right here about the second dude on my list. His name is Joe Coe. I think his real name was I think his real name was George Smith. George Smith was his real name. I don't know what happened with the name and everything, but anyway, he was in Omaha, Nebraska. He was a laborer, so he worked for the railroad, I think. And anyway, his they said he raped a little 5-year-old girl, man. He raped a little 5-year-old girl, a little white girl, 5 years old, and they locked him up and shit, and I guess there was a lot of shit went out for the next few days out in the papers. The papers are back then. They always they wanted to paint a picture, man, stir up as much strife as they could. Inaccurate, man, totally inaccurate reports of the child actually dying from bleeding to death from where the dude had penetrated her. It killed her. Just different things like that. The man, and also Coe or yeah, Coe had Joe Coe had freaking Joko Johnson County. We call Johnson County Joko down here. That's tripping me out, man. Yeah, that's a little Joko, man. Anyway, yeah, the man Joko. Anyway, that's crazy. He had a wife, 2 kids and shit. The damn man trying to make his way. Anyway, I'd say a couple of days passed. Anyway, man, people just started getting crazy about it. How in the world they're only gonna give him that? Like that, I think that, like they said, if he got found guilty, maybe 20 years, all he would get. They were like, how the fuck, man? So they go all around the motherfucking place, and even the officers and shit. It went with 12 police officers, wasn't much they could do. The fucking sheriff and shit. But then the governor tried to chime in and say, hey man, calm down, and tell them to disperse and shit. They ain't having it. They went all up in the place, man, took crowbars and shit, got the bars open and shit, got the code, took Joe by the neck, put a noose around, I guess a noose or a rope around his neck, drug him to the streets, man, beat the brakes off of him. I think he broke like 4 or 5 bones, maybe 8 bones. Had wounds of like maybe 16 cut wounds, stab wounds, whatever, man. They beat him up pretty bad. And then they hung him, of course, from the trolley cars or somewhere, or something like that. And of course, in the coroner's office, man, when they tried to take 7 people, they were going to try to put 7 people on trial. 7 people were arrested for the murder and the lynching, right? And but of course, the coroner came back and said that he did not die from the attacks of those 7 people. That he was already dead once they hung him. He was already dead, and the broken bones and stabs and whatever bruises and shit that he did have on him is not what caused it. He'd actually had a heart attack. They had scared him to death. So therefore, by him just being scared to death, they didn't really kill him. He was just scared to death, and all charges were dropped against the 7. Get the fuck. Did y'all? Oh yeah, and by the way, remember the first story about oh man about Mr. Host? Yeah, by Sam. The lady said that he never raped her. They didn't ever even have nothing like that. There was no consideration, nothing at all to do with the white woman. And this one here, years later, the little girl family admitted that the little girl had never been attacked. The 5-year-old girl was not attacked by this man. Was not raped. Was not attacked by anybody. They made it up, man, because they didn't like him. They made it up. Probably because he had a job somebody else wanted, to be honest with you. To be flat out honest with you. They made the shit up on him, and the family made it up on him. And yeah, she was never attacked, never fucking assaulted or molested or anything like that at all, especially by this man, Joko. So that's another one, 1891, Omaha, Nebraska. 1,000 people, man. The mob of 1,000. Oh yeah, they cut rope pieces off the rope and different things to sell later on as souvenirs or just to keep as souvenirs or whatever, man. Yeah, sure did. Keepsakes for a man who did nothing wrong but be black. And that's about it. Till next time, man. All right, peace, family. Out.